Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Frontier Friday. I am, of course, your host, your best friend, your confidant, your Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. That's right, we're dodging bullets over here. I am, of course, CCP Jötunn, joined today by not just this man to my left, but also these other men. Wrong button push. Yes, that's right, everybody. It is Frontier Friday. We are back in the saddle. I am CCP Jötunn. This is CCP Goodfella. You know him. This is CCP Overlord over here with the hair. And over here to my left, this gentleman is CCP Bowman, our not new at this point, but newish. Newish.
New to the Frontier Cinematic Universe.
True, new to the Frontier Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
The CCP Bowman, our development director. That's right, right?
That's right.
That's right. So you're in charge of making sure that all the many things that need to happen.
It's the how of making games.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll love to see that because my God, I'm glad that I am not in charge of that position. This would
put me on a leash.
I was
I have an ankle bracelet here below me.
I mean, you opened with your analogy of Franz Ferdinand, but I mean, famously didn't really dodge much bullets. That's kind of the problem.
Dodgeballs once. Dodgeballs one time, then caught the other one. Listen, he was a master of his craft. Unappreciated.
There's
50-50.
There's some joke there about NPC Jötunn and Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, that's track actually. Yeah.
I'm glad Chad is already appreciating the fact that we will at some point need a new table because we are running out of desk space very fast. Listen, hey, it's all part of the. We'll figure it out. Anyway, friends, before we get too deep into the App Fest early, we've already promised. By that I mean me. I promised we would not be doing this, but we are doing it already. This is not our first big stream back since we came back from holiday, but this is a big one because this is the day that we're going to reveal or start to flesh out some of our 2026 roadmap. Now, just to give a little bit of context to this for people who are watching at home or people watching later, if you're watching on the YouTube or one of, I'm sure, many shorts will get cut up for this that we'll throw out into the universe. This is not going to be super detailed. You're not going to see, every little bit and piece that you're going to see over the next couple of months, but you will see some high level stuff. You're going to see some stuff you've never seen before. You're going to see some stuff that I only saw just a couple of minutes ago, which is crazy. What are you going to do? So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hyped?
Very hyped.
Yep.
We've spent a lot of time working on this one to try and get everything together, and then we're going to present it to you here and now. We've got a limited amount of time because we are going to do the live to feed after this show with the CSM for EVE Online. They're going to be on with the community team doing some cool stuff. So we are going to we have a hard cutoff around 2:00. We are going to have a blog post out next week that's going to have this information plus a little bit more detail in it as well. So if you miss anything here or we miss anything here, you'll be able to catch it there anyway. So let's go ahead and proceed.
And I think also, sorry.
Yo, please, go ahead.
Just like with what we've been doing so far, we had a kickoff with the entire Frontier team 2 weeks ago, actually like precisely 2 weeks ago, where we went over all of this. As has been tradition, we're just sharing everything that our plans are, what we want to achieve.
Yep.
Some of it will be overachieved. Some new things will emerge that we hadn't planned, but will be cool. And then we'll miss also other things because we wanted to add stuff where it was a bit more complicated than we wanted, etc.
Sure.
But literally what we're showing now is the work that we were showing to the team, what the plan is ahead for the upcoming beats.
It's what the entire company sees.
Yeah.
You're seeing behind the curtain.
Sure.
This is literally what we're doing.
I was going to say, and this is unironically, there are things in here that
Some of them are the same slides.
Yeah, I mean, so these are pulled directly from that kickoff meeting, and there's stuff in here that again people inside the company haven't even seen yet. This is like hot off the press stuff in a lot of cases, and not all of it is going to come to fruition the way that it's being presented. But I hope that people will be able to see this and see like at least where we're going.
Yeah.
We want them to know our goals.
Correct.
Yeah.
So to quote CCP Goodfella, the hardest part is going from 0 to 1.
Yes, true.
And a lot of the features that you're going to see here, you'll be like, hey, we've got some of that just now. You'll see it a little bit later, but I'm going to use character progression as an example. You saw the first iteration of our character progression coming in just in December there. And that 0 to 1 is an important part, and then we work on refining it. So some of the features you're seeing coming up are going from 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2. Some of them are going from 0 to 1.
Okay.
And we'll kind of try and talk about that as we go through it. Some of these features are going to be coming out imminently in March. Some of them are going to be later in the year in September. again, we'll try and give you some context as we roll.
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, with no more beating around it, let's go ahead and get into our presentation. Here we go.
All right.
So this is the 2026 Frontier Roadmap. CCP Overload, take it away.
Yeah, so just as a quick reminder of where we are. So eFrontier, we've always said we have 3 main product pillars, grounded in science. Everything should feel like it makes sense because it kind of just makes sense. If you're playing an FPS and you hit the jump button, you expect to go up and you expect to come back down. You don't question this fact. It's just the nature of gravity. You just anticipated. We should feel like the game is like that. It makes sense if you run into something, you should bounce off it or take damage. It makes sense that you can expend energy to do stuff. So we are grounded in science. It's also a cruel survival experience. It's not supposed to be an easy game. It's supposed to be hard, but it's supposed to feel like you can beat the world. The world itself is trying to crush your very dreams. And when you succeed, even just for a little bit, you feel elated for that fact.
As I say to my 6-year-old son, growth through suffering.
Exactly. Growth through
Say
suffering.
it to your son.
Got to start them tough. And then finally, rebuilding a broken world. We're not trying to impose our version of what a utopian society in the frontier looks like. We're basically trying to give you the tools to build it yourself. However you want to do it with your group, that's what we're trying to do. So you're rebuilding this broken world in your own visions.
And building with the community, building with the builders that are adding stuff to the world. It's a meta pillar.
Yeah.
Yep. This is what we call the golden path. So this is a very high level sort of view of the game loop. And I was about to start using the laser pointer and pointing at the screen, but I don't think that would be very useful.
Just do this. They'll figure it out.
For you guys. But essentially, you can think of the golden path as the progression from I have just awoken in this hostile universe to I am part of a functioning society, contributing and growing. And it starts off very much like sort of bushcraft, like literally like scrambling in the dirt, looking for seeds to be able to build and survive. And then as you get the base fundamental survival done, you start to then like build ways to move around the area with a ship and then go further afield from where you started, from that initial like waking up on the beach with the rock in your underwear. You know, you're really starting to progress into the universe. And then you start to identify yourself as the player, as the character, and build on that, make yourself more powerful, more skillful, find other people that like doing the same things you do, and then build together into start as a village, into a town, into a city, into a civilization. So that's the golden path. And of course, in each of these sections is almost a game in itself. And it should be a continuous process, not just one little simple thing. So this is a very high level overview.
Yeah, and there's a phenomenal talk by CCP Maximum Cats that goes into details on this overall.
We're going to have to bring him back on here before too
We
long
are.
to have that conversation. Yeah.
Maximum Cats, you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So here's the timeline.
Right. So this is, I wanted to preempt this because people are going to look at this and be like, wait a second, there's a lot of 2025 on there.
Yep.
That is true. But 2025 was very, very busy, at least at this, throughout the middle of the year.
This is the slide from the last time we did this.
Right.
Yes.
So this is to show kind of what we said, where we were, what we're doing, and kind of where we're up to now. So if there was a big "you are here" thing, can you move us to the other side?
Oh, I can move us to the other side. Yeah.
I think we're here now.
That's true. We're
Roughly.
we're
maybe over here a little bit.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
just right over that way. You see it?
But we're making our way through.
We're
So
taking stock of what we were saying and where we're heading.
Yeah.
and it's important to look at what's been delivered and frame it based on what's been said before, so we can gauge how accurate we are at talking about these things. So looking at what we said was coming in Cycle 3, we had creative base building, so be able to put your stuff kind of wherever you want it to be. Endless industry, the fact that you can sort of put stuff in and it'll just continue to build rather than having to say, hey, I want 10, 20, 1, etc. The control after death in the first iterations of the death loop, where you're going to reawaken in the universe. We had new ships, we had the first iterations of our new control schemes, and we had sort of events to incentivize exploration and finding stuff throughout the universe.
This was the October
Yeah.
cycle that we went in October.
Then in Cycle 4, we had planned to have updated ship controls. So then we had the full WASD system coming in at this point. We had the first iteration of the character progression system, and then the creation of clones. We didn't quite deliver on tribal base building as we wanted to, but we'll come back to that. Yet is important. And we started to really flesh out distinct ship roles and the attributes and the fundamental way the ships work as individuals. And finally, of course, base progression. We added more stuff to allow you to make your base more like your home away from home in the great visits of space. So that's what we said before. So we can look at what's kind of coming up, and we split most of our features into these 5 areas. So core gameplay is basically everything that sort of is to do with things like the ships, the clones, sort of the main gameplay day-to-day loop and the pillars. These all feed into things like base building, the actual aspect of building it out, upgrading it, all the production capabilities and so on. The creation of the world itself, that's all the flavor that sits within it. That's the sites, landscapes, which we talked about before. Then it's identity, the actual the core of the player, your shell that you are upgrading and sacrificing and continuing to work on as you form the identity of your player. And finally, just the overall creative pillar, so that it all looks cohesive as part of the frontier. So that's where everything kind of falls into one of these areas. So let's start with core gameplay.
So this is, to be very clear, this is a lot of new stuff people are going to be seeing here very soon. A lot of these are features that are probably not feature complete, certainly, but are in a lot of cases either showcases of stuff that's being worked on right now, or prototypes of systems that will be going in before too long.
So our first one, this is on-grid scanning. So right now you can see everything on grid all the time unless it's occluded. And that doesn't really make sense. Why should you always have full access to every piece of information around you? Why should you know that this container has something in it? So bringing an active scanning capability into the game where you kind of ping the environment around you and see what's there. This allows you to really feel like you're sort of in the environment itself, but also think of like a submarine sonar. Okay, so you're aware of what's around you with passive sensors, but as soon as you ping that sonar, not only do you get a lot of information what's around you, but you're also lighting up the area like a Christmas tree. Everyone knows where you are.
Right.
So this will feed into things like overall detection and signature and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you can be quiet, you can go around and check things individually, or you could blast your sensors and see what's around you. And
it makes the game also way bigger. Imagine going to a location now, and you really need to be scanning down things and finding out. And there's gameplay involved with the scanner itself that isn't we don't capture in this video, where you're like holding down and then the directionality is like narrowing.
Oh yeah,
just wait. Wait 2 slides.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you bring this up, and just to touch on something real fast, I was gonna say, no, you're on the right track. To talk about something. So Bo and I were talking just before we started the stream too about the idea that every bit of information that you gather is an opportunity for somebody to gather information about you as well.
Yes.
And that's not just with obviously on-grid scanning, but system scanning, region scanning. Like anytime that you are,
anytime you reach out for information, you're letting people know you exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
And the tug and pull of that warfare of information is a big part of the game.
I've used the analogy a lot of imagine you're sort of in a dark forest and you hear stuff around you, and then you light your lantern. You're going to get a good view of what's around you, but also you're going to let people see you.
Yeah.
Now the questions in chat, people saying, can you narrow your scan? Yes, and will the ping reveal you locally across the whole system? Both of these as well. It'll be much more obvious the closer you are. The further away you are, it might be harder to see in the noise.
It'll depend upon your ship's sensors as
correct.
well.
Mm-hmm.
This is an early sort of work in progress visualization of system level scanning. So now you're looking at like the landscapes that you can see, and you can start to narrow into the landscapes and get information about them. You don't know a huge amount of stuff in them because it's a very global, large scan, but it's like, hey, looking for the forests and the mountains and stuff in space.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting about this is that we've actually showed people this slide or this animation before. But before there wasn't the context of what landscapes were going to be, right? So this just looks like, they're just big sites in the universe.
Yep.
Those individual sections are themselves individual landscapes.
Yes.
That you are huge, obviously, because they take up this huge region of space. But that gives you an idea of how how individual systems will be laid out in space.
So this one is a quick sidebar. When you're in the scanning view right now, pretty much although the system itself has unique stars that are based on the attributes of the star itself, the system view always has the same star.
Yeah.
Not for much longer. Now the system view will have the representative of the star that is in the system itself. The size, the color, the attributes of the star will be reflective of the thing that is actually in the game, which is pretty cool.
Also then is a function of what is around as well.
Yes.
This is a universe grounded in science, so it does have correlation.
Oh, here's the look at this cool shit.
So this is you narrowing in rather than doing 360 degrees, this is you wanted to scan with higher detail a particular area. So this is like really focusing in on what's over there and scanning down. So you can think of this as you've done the global scan, and maybe you've just detected someone has just pinged in a landscape somewhere. They're trying to see what's there, and then that pops up on your global scan. Now you don't really know where they are because you were doing a very vague scan. You want to dial in. You can they're over there somewhere, and you can start to dial in and track them down.
I haven't even seen this before.
Yeah, this is this I saw this morning. So this is, I mean, obviously this is very like
It's pre-visualization type stuff. This is Dot's and client. This is basically working out the visual language of what it would look like.
Yeah.
You can kind of see if I flip back quite quickly. The different levels of how stuff is being worked on. So this is much more advanced. This is now like into the clients. This we've shown before is visualization.
And third slide, not the second slide.
Yeah.
He can't be trusted.
I can't play. Damn you.
One of the comments is about submarines. And
Yeah.
there is a lot of the submarine tension that we want in this game. We
Hold on.
want you to have that feeling of vulnerability, but also of the ability to go silent. To be able to go through the universe. Play the game the way you want to play.
Engage silent running mode.
Yeah.
Shut off the diesel engines.
Just coast.
Yeah.
And listen.
Fans of Hunt for Red October will rejoice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
One ping only.
One ping only. All right.
Okay, so this
Okay.
is now prototypes of skill shots. So the idea being that you can see there's a couple of turrets on it. The turrets are moving at different speeds. I think all of them, apart from one, are moving at the same speed. And then as you fire missiles, they go where you are pointing, essentially, at that moment in time. But not where the ship is pointing, but where the turrets are pointing. So this allows you to have more granular control for like higher damage weapon systems instead of the automatic tracking. Of course, you can have both. You can have like automatic turrets that can like defend against stuff, and then you have like your big missiles that you need a bit more manual control over. And you can sort of hide behind. You don't even have to lock something on to shoot these, so you could hide behind a rock, knowing that someone is about to fly out from it, and then time it right and blow them up.
Yeah, because they follow the rules of occlusion.
Yes.
So they'll fly until they hit something, or until they run out of fuel and explode. But I mean, this is we've talked in the past before about not just as missiles, but these are just a prototype for main guns in general.
Yeah, this could be like artillery. This could be like lasers. It could be
coil guns, any number of things.
Exactly. Like read a good sci-fi book, and that's what we will deliver. Thankfully, science fiction has a lot of opportunity for really cool weapons. Sorry before we go into this, we go back one. I don't know if you have it in slide 3 from now, whatever. Worth calling out is that we have a playable prototype. Obviously, there's a big difference between prototyping and then the future version of this as well, where we have controller support.
Yes, this is being done on a controller, like an Xbox controller. We were going to see if we could find a picture of our intern CCP Bjorn working on it with the controller. But we're bringing sometime later this year native controller support to.
And it was oddly satisfying to be right-click pullering on a controller with this stuff.
I mean, that's one of the things I'm really excited about with the joystick setup I have at home. Is it has that trigger finger on the back, being able to just like line up your shot and then pull the trigger, and that's something like very visceral about that.
Yeah, just for you, it's just you'll still be dying.
Yeah. Well, okay, all right, asshole. Let's go to the next slide.
So we talked before about modular ships and how the ship should reflect how it is fit. And we've got a lot deeper into that exploration. We've come back to it. We've shown a video at least a year ago now of with the sort of the feral drones. And this is kind of a more detailed exploration of building stuff towards it. So you can see like the ship is made up of a bunch of core sort of modules, and then as you add weapon systems, defensive systems, and so on to the ship itself, you start to like change the visual identity of the ship. So you're able to not only ascertain what people are doing, but perhaps even like hide it. Think of things like Q ships in World War II. You can do things like if you see a bunch of ships and one of them is really slow because it's heavily laden and doesn't have all of the weapons, you can say, oh, the loot's probably in that one, and the other ones have guns everywhere. Like, okay, well, those are the escorts, and you can visually see the difference.
There was an old like Windows 98, I think, maybe it was like an NXP Star Trek game that I remember playing at like a computer camp years and years ago, where over time,
Computer camp.
Shut up. Listen, it was real. That computer game is probably why I'm here, assholes. Okay, that's my childhood. Give me a break.
We support you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Bowman.
Yeah.
Unlike some people in this room. Anyway, so I could tell. Anyway, the way it worked was, as you began with a very basic version of like the basic Federation ship, and as you did things in the game, you unlock different saucers, you unlock different nacelles. For the engines, you unlock different scanning arrays, and there's all changed the way the ship looked and acted. And a lot of that is what's being displayed here, where you have the opportunity to get different elements or discover different elements or build different elements. And those elements then all kind of click together Lego style.
Yep.
So
it's going to be fundamental to the core ships of the game. This is not just going to be like a range.
Yeah, this is
going to
everything.
be pretty much fundamental to the game.
I know, Bowman, you've been working a lot on this recently too. We're working a lot on getting this kind of off the ground. This is a pretty big shift away from the way we've been doing it for basically forever.
So we're gonna, in our history, in the world's history, we have technologies which are sort of solid state. This is the ship. This is how it works. It's pre-built. We also want to allow the players to generate the ship design that fits their play style.
Yeah,
and have them exchanging ideas and skill sets and experience through I've unlocked things that you haven't unlocked.
Right.
Now we can combine in order to do new things.
Yep.
So that's coming. That's on the journey that we're on.
Shout out to CCP Armageddon, who revealed that CCP Hex was in fact playing.
That's true, by the way. 100%
That is actually just a fact.
Like visualization concept people are just bananas. They're just like, I need Legos to visualize this.
I need Legos, shrooms, and wine.
Every company in the last 30 years have had a Lego set.
But worth calling out as well. This isn't just rainbows and sunshines. First of all, this takes a long time to get right.
Technologies too.
Technology, etc. This also is difficult to get cool because usually what happens is that every ship looks the same. There's a big risk there. And also in the story of Frontier, not every faction goes towards this technology.
Exactly.
So not all ships are like that. But what we're doing is like as CCP Bowman, a very original dev name, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
like that?
Yeah, it's super original. CCP Bowman said we're committing to this philosophy for a part of the game. It's not like a binary change either. Because there also is technology that is just like, a racing car is designed precisely to be a single one of a racing car.
We talked about that a while back when we talked about the concept of like the difference in digital physics of a car, like an internal combustion engine. Like people are saying, can't you just make it just go as fast as you want then if you do like that in the game? It's like, well, just like in real life, a regular car, like a Honda Accord, has a certain speed that it can do, a certain efficiency. It doesn't cost that much, but then your custom-built race car costs a lot more and goes a lot faster. Then you get the world land speed record cars, which go way faster. Yeah, but it's like no one is taking the kids to school in a land speed record rocket car because it's very inefficient to do that.
Yeah,
and it's just not going to work.
Camry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we're discussing is how do we take this from concept to just a thing that lives there, even though it's far away from this cool awesomeness. And what we're discussing is, for example, cargo containers. I can impact the hull by
attaching
different sorts of cargo containers.
Someone mentioned from car to rally car.
Yep, exactly. It's a good example. Especially like Group B, when so it used to be rally cars had to have a certain number of production cars to be allowed to be a rally car, and it was like 2,000 or something. And then they were like, what if we made it like 10? And then the manufacturer just made these absolute monsters.
Sure.
And then like a year or two later, they're like, oh, maybe not. Maybe we should go back.
But as CCP Jötunn puts it, this one time at computer game camp.
Oh my fucking god! Listen, it was a cool camp.
All right, let's move on.
Play with Fruity Loops.
This one is a really cool one, and it requires a little bit of explanation. So on the left is an asteroid with a ton of spheres covering it, and on the right is an asteroid without a ton of spheres. Now, the collision meshes of the game essentially are just spheres mostly, and that means that the bigger, more detailed the surface of something gets, the more spheres you have to put in to start to cover it, and that becomes very, very inefficient.
To be very clear too, just because people would probably ask, this is not what the collision mesh would actually look like for this model. This is as detailed as we can get it. It is probably more realistic that it would be just a lot of, or just a couple very large spheres.
Realistically, it's going to be like 10 spheres rather than 1,000, like it's probably showing here. But we are doing a lot of work in the engine to move towards mesh-based collision. That's super important because it allows, like when you have these really big objects and structures that you want to fly accurately between, when you want to shoot your rocket just around the corner or something, you don't want it to explode off an invisible ball.
Right.
So it's making the world feel more grounded.
This is some Bloodborne shit, by the way, here on the left.
For some of the more technical people out there, it's an n-squared problem, which means that as things go up, you're going to continue to double each time as you move through the problem.
Yeah.
So it gets more and more inefficient. So it's not something you can do continually, but we're designing with that new ability, and we're adding that to the gameplay. So we're going to be able to do line of sight occlusion, and also do prediction based upon whether or not you're going to be able to shoot something and hit somebody or not. So that'll change the way the game plays.
Oh yeah.
And it also allows us to like build our complicated assets and drop them into the algorithms that generate these meshes. So you can see here a Stargate, for example.
It's cool
which
visual.
So into this.
It shows you all the mesh-based collision instead of just like, even before, this wouldn't have worked as a sphere, obviously. So we did have the ability to use, they're called capsules. They look like spheres that have been elongated.
Yeah, long.
So we would have had a bunch of those kind of filling that up, and you can see easily how either you would need a lot of them overlapping all the time, or you accept inaccuracies. So we can take the models coming from the 3D artists and just kind of drop them into the systems and get much more accurate collisions, which is actually a really important aspect of making the game feel immersive, because when you shoot something, or we've all done it, you hit an invisible wall in a video game and you kind of, like, why can't I jump over this like 1 foot high hedge? You know, like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think obviously anybody who's ever played Frontier, or one of the first things I did when I had access to the WSD controls, to try and like zoom through some structure, and running into an abrupt invisible wall and hitting, hearing the collision sound where there clearly should not be a wall. Is one of those jarring things in gaming.
Sometimes we can get away with it because people are just too afraid to go near the things.
Yeah.
So, for example, the Moon Eater, its collision right now, I think, is like
It's
10
so
spheres.
Yeah, it's so bad.
But people are just too scared to get too close to it.
As they should be.
Yeah. But
It
we
is
can update stuff like that as well.
dangerous
We can bring this into...
I just love the visual style of this.
It's very like neon retro sci-fi punk.
Yes, exactly.
Don't show this to Maximum Cats. He'll have an aneurysm.
Far too many colors.
It's not in the brand guidelines.
Mode of scanning or something where this could... I mean, the Maximum Cats can find a way.
Controls. I didn't have any good images for this one, but we have them.
We have
Imagine this.
we have
Imagine this.
controls. There's probably a control slide in there somewhere. Just know that there are controls.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is a refinement of like WSD, bringing in controller support, like I mentioned. And controller support, importantly, has analog.
Yeah.
There was also a question earlier about whether we're going to add different abilities within controls. We're going to continue to evolve the controls. We're not satisfied yet. You're not satisfied yet. We're going to continue to modify those until it feels better. Each time we do a release, our goal is to make it a little bit better for you based upon what we were able to achieve during the time.
Yeah.
And analog control, instead of just like A to go left, but being able to like use a stick or a joypad, is going to become way more like fidelity, essentially.
Sure.
Like, it's way more accurate.
Cool.
And then what's everyone's favorite thing to look at? That's right, JPEGs. So we have some more finished ships
Hell yeah,
that are
look at
coming
that.
in soon.
Textures.
Textures, baby.
So gray. Oh, red.
Look at that. Does anyone remember the original model of this one when it had about 8 voxels
That
or
was
something?
true. It was the little guy.
Little guy that
Pluggy.
just...
No, it
wasn't
Pluggy?
pluggy. No, was this pluggy?
I think this was Pluggy.
Yes.
And this was,
Yeah, this
because
was-
like the
this is
front part
pluggy.
was like the,
Yep.
the prongs for the plug. It literally was made of like 8 cubes or something.
Yeah, it was.
It was kind of dumb. And then some more ships. I can't remember how many ships I put in.
There's a lot of them.
There's a few of them.
Good looking
There's a
ships.
ship. Yep, definitely. A ship.
Some. I mean, and these
Yeah, that
two
was
are all
cool.
fairly small ships.
I like this little like...
Yes.
Yeah, his little mining claws down
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
These are all fairly small ships. I think these are all there's nothing here bigger than a frigate. Except for this. That's a ship that exists in the game right now. But
way updated.
a lot of what is being developed right now is like visual language for a lot of these things too. And especially if we want to, start introducing these more modular ship designs once you get towards bigger vessels.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of sort of the Toyota Camrys of the world in smaller ships, and then the bigger ships will become more discreet.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. All right. Base building. It's when you build your base.
Wow.
So this is something I'm looking forward to. This is what we call ghost build mode. This is the idea of being able to basically drop a bunch of spots around where you're going to build something, but you don't have to have everything on it just yet. So you can plan out your base in advance, which is pretty cool. So then once they're there, you just go drop the materials in, and they'll start to construct when they have the required
I'm
materials.
pretty sure you have a slide too
This
in here
is
somewhere of.
So cool.
I
Yeah,
do.
of
So this is what it looked like when you're depositing stuff into it. Now, this is the very, very first time you can build stuff together, because you can deposit things into other people's. Where someone hit the air horn
Why don't
button.
we do that? Yeah.
So this is like the very first iteration of tribe building gameplay. So still going to be limited to do with like the network node and L points for now. That is coming in the future, but you can build stuff together. So no longer do you have to all have everyone give it to one person who then deploys it. They can deploy it and say, hey, we need this material, just come and drop it here. So you log in later, you see
you can contribute when other people are offline.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep. So you can really be building it together. And like I said, this doesn't have to be just one thing. You could build your whole base out like this at the same time. So you build like the main manufacturing, like let's say you're Exte, one of our big industrial tribes within the game, and you want to build out your industrial powerhouse at some L point. You can map it out, set it out, put all the structures you need, plan it, and have your members come in and contribute stuff as and when you can, and you can figure out ways to reward them for that, for example. So cool. Pretty cool. And some new updated shaders will be coming as well. This is a little bit further out, but instead of just using like the sort of yellow sparkly thing, which looks for everything, there'll be updated ones that show the different states, whether it's selected, whether it's been built.
The yellow sparkly thing is also from EVE Online.
It is. So we're moving into getting our own ones from that. And again, giving Frontier its distinctive visual identity.
Cool. Yes.
And this is way further off by comparison, but just because ships get to be modular, why don't structures as well? So these are basically explorations of modular structures and how they would work when you start to configure individual aspects of the structure itself. So perhaps like the base assembler can build modules, but then you add in something that allows it to build specific types of more advanced modules. Now it looks different.
Builds them more quickly.
Exactly, like a speed upgrade, like efficiency upgrade, things like that. And then you'll be able to see it visually on what it looks like in space.
Yep.
Pimp my base.
Pimp my base, exactly.
So there's not just because you the player coming into somebody's base probably won't know exactly what every single individual item is, but you should be able to look at something and be like, hey, those spins on the top of that thing, I know those are, heat sinks, and that means that the base is running faster than it would be normally.
Yeah.
So I can be pretty confident they're building whatever
grounded in science, baby.
Hey, here we go. Grounded in science. We nailed it. We're done.
Then, again, I don't have a picture for it, but
we do actually have some stuff for this.
Pretend it's there.
Imagine this.
Yes, we do. We do have stuff there. It's just
Did you hold hands?
So, like, one of the things that we're working towards, for example, is the ability to upgrade a network node to essentially like a larger version of one that then supports. Like, you can think of it almost like lily pads, with like a big trunk in the center, and then these like little ones hanging off the side of it, which can support further network nodes. So you can start to build things out, and all live together as a space communist, perhaps.
A central node, and then auxiliary nodes off of that, and then auxiliary nodes off of those nodes. Yeah, just kind of stretching out. You can start to see pretty quickly how a city might form in that way.
Yep, that's right. I did ask CCP Hex if she had any good visualizations of this, and she showed me a picture made in Microsoft Paint, which I was like, didn't I draw that like a year ago? And she was like, I think so.
I think we should also address the fact that we are aware that right now we don't have the balance we need long term for building as far as the ability to defend it versus it being destroyed. And that's something that we are working on.
I have a slide for that.
He does have a slide for that. Let's go back to the slides. Here we go.
See?
Wow. Nailed it.
Being addressed.
Okay, so just be very clear. This is a little tongue in cheek because while we don't have a ton of images, we are aware. We are all of us.
We have been for a while.
All of us aware for a while that base.
You see it in chat also.
Defense
discussion on the
sucks real bad right now.
We're not ignoring you. We really aren't.
We know it's
what
bad.
We're not doing is knee jerking it just to make people a little bit happy right now. We have done a couple of tweaks, just sort of low hanging fruit to try and make the experience a little bit less painful. I'm not going to say better. I'm going to say less painful.
Sure.
But we are doing a fundamental design around this whole loop of attack defense that should feel good, unique to the game, and you won't be just like logging off and having a wind come destroy your entire base because your turrets are just garbage. Like that won't happen once this comes in. This is again a little bit further off, and honestly, we should do a full stream on this once we're further into it.
I agree.
And I think maybe in
but further off is it's March plan.
So
the first iteration.
We have an improvement in March.
Yes,
exactly.
It will be better. It won't be final.
Yes.
So when I see a comment of just fix it or then fix it,
it's not going to be pause timer. It's not going to be up well rules.
Fixing it is a series of changes, and we're going to make those changes without breaking the game as we do it. So
and we also don't want to go too like before. Frontier was way too much defense. We took it way far too much into just annihilation. But Frontier is a game more about annihilation than too much safety. But what the team is looking at is defense in terms of shields and walls. They're looking at more types of turrets that do their job way better that you can configure as well. So there is actually a defense thing. We're also then looking at repair and recovery, so that when you come back, it isn't just a binary thing of healing or gone, but it is something that you can recover from
activate
as well.
Yes. Yeah, and like that's a fairly fundamental, large-scale concept, which is why we've taken a lot of time. And CCP Cake Machine spoke a little bit about it in previous streams, where it's such a fundamental aspect of the game that we really want to make sure we get it right and not just overreact.
Sure.
So we're taking a bit of time, but like Goodfella says, the first iteration of this, the 0 to 1, is coming in March. So things will get a lot better pretty soon, and then they'll get really good later on in the year.
Yep. And then paired with the ability to be able to be together at an L point.
Exactly.
Like Tai Seek is mentioning, there's no one's in the...
You okay?
He's getting so emotional about it.
He's really excited.
It's like whole PC.
He's sitting there going, man, I wish I could have gone to computer camp.
I'm sorry. I feel so bad for everybody who didn't get to experience the fact that me and CCP Bowman get here dutifully
on time,
half hour ahead of time. 10 minutes ahead of time. CCP Overload stumbles in, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's still here well ahead of time, no problem. When's CCP Goodfella going to get here? 2 minutes before we go live, the man stumbles in with a glass of water and a cold piece of old pizza, and just like, anyway.
Lunchtime.
So busy you can't eat the good lunch.
No shit.
So this stuff will affect things like gates as well, by the way, just because it's not just base, this is like structures.
Yeah, this is all of the building. This is all of construction.
Yeah.
And there is, Darkspade was mentioning, like, not necessarily directly that, but this outer shell or like this shield type of concept that can, and then of course you need to upkeep it, energy, etc.
It all starts to layer on top of each other. We will get there. It's coming piece by piece.
Yep.
And we're gonna, we're putting things out there as quickly as we get them to the point where that we know they're not.
And as soon as we have something more concrete, we will have it on a stream to discuss it, also to get feedback.
I'm going to talk about this in more detail, so I think probably next month we'll be able to get a CCP Cake Machine in and talk about it.
Cool.
Right, shall we move on?
Yeah, we did some industry stuff as well. We've been doing some industry stuff.
Yep. Updates to industry. You want to talk about this one, CCP Jötunn?
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of this is stuff that you've already seen. This is actually taken straight from the game right now. What we're doing right now is trying to, put together a proof of concept, right, of what industry should look like into the future. We've addressed a lot of concerns people have had. One of the biggest concerns that we got a lot of feedback on, and we were able to put it in, and you can kind of see it here, is a visual indicator of how full those portable storages are on a moment-to-moment basis. So you can see basically a line of how full a storage is when you're trying to decide an input and an output. All of this, I mean, we've gone on at length in the past about how the industry system should feel at this stage like you are doing everything with your hands, because you are doing everything with your hands. This is very, pre-industrial revolution in a very broad sense. Yep. So this is not anything new. This is stuff you've already seen. I just want to get some video of it because I think it's pretty cool. Yep. And I like the work that we've done on it. There is more cool stuff coming from this, but this is, again, very much the kind of proof of concept for bigger things happening in the future.
Yeah. And as I need to check my eyesight soon. Kjab, ex-Kjaba, is saying, we're taking a step in the right direction, and like we did a release in early December.
You see the fucking what Carl said? I like CCP Bowman. He seemed very wise, like the dad of the team. Yeah, real kids in order.
Spot on.
More like the grandfather. But
no,
yeah, exactly.
You actually could be my
probably.
Yeah.
And has a tremendous amount of experience in the industry.
Oh yeah,
so he's seen it all.
You came from.
Multiple companies.
Yeah, a lot of different places. You were at Bungie for a while.
Yeah, was back when Bungie was new.
Yeah, and then you worked at Bungie in the 90s. Yeah. Like OG Bungie. Do you want to wow the people with a little rundown of some of the cool things you worked on?
I worked
Frontier.
on Dungeons & Dragons Online, Lord of the Rings Online.
Okay.
Asher's Call 1 and 2. We did Left 4 Dead at one studio. We worked with that team that built that, with Turtle Rock.
Yep.
We worked on back ends of multiple shooters that you've played.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gaming team.
Yeah. we're in the big
more
leagues
like
now.
not CCP Bowman, more CCP Dad Man though.
Baby Dad Man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm with
Such an original.
CCP John Halo. That's very good. All right, continue on.
All right, world creation. So this is all the sort of things about the flavor of the universe. So NPCs have got a pretty substantial update to the way they work.
Yep.
They're no longer just like, I'm an NPC, I shoot players. Now they have their own internal logic that kind of makes sense, and it depends on the brain of the NPC itself. We talked at length last week with CCP Dramaturg on this. Some of the big ones, for example, like the Moon Eater and Zerote, they're kind of like a bear in the forest.
Yeah.
It's not coming to just, fuck up anyone that wanders by. But
They're
if you go to sleep and you leave, your sausages in the cooler inside your tent, you're gonna wake up with a bear just kind of poking its head through. And when a bear just pushes you out of the way, you probably get killed because they're so much stronger and bigger than you. And it's the same idea. It's they have their own things that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
He also said like about a shark tests things by biting it. But of course, if you're a human and you get bitten by a shark, it's usually not very good. Usually not very good. So
never leave your sausages out. Hey, Apex, that's wise words there, bud.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your sausages.
Always
protected.
keep them stored.
Yeah, store your sausages.
All right, we should move on a little bit further. So this is landscapes. You recorded this video for me last night, I believe.
Yes, we got this video last night from the newest version of some of the landscape stuff that CCP is putting together, among others. This is a cool set of there's a bunch of new structures in here, a bunch of new setups for how those structures can be put together. This is one of probably a dozen new different landscape structures that were or landscape entry points that we've gone to in the system that I was in last night. I just picked the one that I thought was kind of the hottest, and that is very, very cool. These things are huge. You don't really get a good sense of scale from this video. Take my word for it. In future videos, there will be more.
And
cool
imagine also in the future when you come into a place like this, you don't have the icons on the screen.
Yep.
You need to be scanning it down, and you really don't know what is around you. And the more you try to scan, more likely you are to be caught.
Somebody's hiding behind that right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
So that's what we want.
Exactly.
Right.
And what to explain also what this landscapes does is that yes, Monkey landscapes will be in all of Frontier,
not just the starting areas.
Not just the starting areers. So we took it from 0 to 1 in December to try it out. Had it in the starting areas, spot on there, and now we're taking it to the all the world,
the rest of the universe.
The content that is in the world now is not in the first iteration, not changing drastically, but we're using the stuff that we have and making it bigger, cooler, etc. Like Jötunn is showing here.
Another example of great piloting by CCP Jötunn there.
It was like 8 o'clock at night. Give me a break.
Yeah, but when he has a joystick, it'll be way better.
It's way better.
It'll be way better.
But
what it will do is that then when we have it in the whole world, doing different types of content, where it is also just even it's similar, it is different in all over the world. It will make a massive difference for you as you fly around Frontier and try to discover
a lot more to explore. That is the goal. We're building the tool set right now. So what you're seeing are experiments to learn how to do what we want to do, and then we're building tools to do it at scale.
Yep, and that's the hard thing is at scale. This is one I dropped in this morning. This is an update to volumetric clouds, so we can. I know this is somewhat ironic because someone was asking, "Where will we see more of the stars?" Not in this particular video, that's for sure.
Won't.
But this is we can pick and choose where we want these things all to be. As landscapes get bigger, some of them might be very densely populated with these sort of volumetric space clouds. Some of them might be just completely open, where you can see thousands of kilometers. But sometimes you just want like a spooky, dark thing like this, where there could be someone else in the fog just ahead of you, and you can imagine as you swing your headlight. By the way, headlights are coming. Around, you might be able to highlight different things in the fog.
I imagine here this without the UI is much more closer to the experience that we want to deliver. And then you need to scan it down to find pings and interact with them. Like you are gonna get fucked over.
Shout out to CCP new guy.
He's been new guy.
New guy.
Shout out.
Who was doing a lot of work on those clouds the other day and posted that, made it available for everybody. It's very, very cool stuff. Continuing on.
Identity. So, your characters are no longer going to be just JPEGs. They're going to be full animated 3D characters. bringing us one step closer to having the characters fully within the game themselves. This is an example of one of the tribal packs and how it will look.
And Series Pro, sorry, just if you need to go inside buildings, yes, period. Imagine WASD controls inside.
Yeah. Again, layers, these are the goals. This is where we're going. What we want to share with you is what we want to build over time.
Yeah, and the vision trailer, if you go look at the vision trailer from last year, and if you compare it to what we're showing now, you will see that there's a clear progress being...
Lotion, yes, lotion.
That's we need to provide that for our... It's so funny because you can look at there and see the little icon for the shell. It's so smooth and glossy. But then you look over the man himself and he's just so crispy.
That's because he's a tribal character.
Yes,
so
of course.
He's more raw. And of course, that doesn't stop there. So continuing with further visualizations on bringing this in. So it really should be very sort of digested to the game, the world, the frontier. The idea of like the shells that you have are just these bodies that you're occupying. That do they have their own consciousness before you, some sort of like invasive mind virus, take over? Get to the point where you have built up skills within this shell, and you can't get them any further. So you have to sacrifice the shell into the void in some way, and then you can, occupy a new one. What's happening to that shell? Who was that shell? Did that shell have a consciousness, etc.?
Did it have a soul?
Exactly. So
what is life?
What is life?
And we also I think it's important that we're going to stop using the word clone because that implies an organic shell.
That's why I'm saying shell.
And so we want to let you know that there will be both organic and mechanical and other. We'll leave it at that. Coming.
What's cool about this too is that there's this distinction between the body that you live in and the thing you idealize yourself as, right? CCP Maximum Cats talks about this a lot, and we've this is not anything new that we've kind of talked about it kind of piece by piece over the last couple months. Yourself is the identity. This is your intelligence, your consciousness. This is you, right? The shell is just the body that you inhabit. So what the body that you inhabit looks like and what your self identifies itself as are two very different things.
Yes.
And you will be able to have more than one. And you will be able to modify them through gameplay.
Exactly. And to CCP Bowman's point, and Econ Martin were like, will shells be modular? Can I swap my arm to a different skin, etc.? Like as Bowman was talking about, it's both mechanical and organic. You can just imagine in the future the gooey, nasty, organic farming you will need to do to achieve some clones. Because right now, so the current version right now is that there's like some kind of gimpish shell that just comes with the ship. But in the future, there's whole sorts of industry around creating different types of shells to a point in the future where it is also about like different assembling of the
expecting different players to be able to offer different shells to other players.
You might be able to like grow and build some pretty effective mining shells that other people want to be able to purchase, transport to where they are using, and then use those shells for different mining operations.
Goodfella's gimp shells will be like a sought after.
Blurpsec asks a really good question actually, where he says, "Are we synthetic individuals or are we reincarnations of previous digital consciousnesses iced by the keeper upon a previous death?" And the answer is, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
No, we have some answers to that.
Oh, we definitely have answers.
I think we want to roll them out over time.
Yes, indeed.
But that kind of speculation is exactly what we want.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you can have some
spooked.
You can start to like get more creative with, because we have the bodies in the client now, in the 3D visualization and so on, and they're fully interactive, like live. They're not just like renders that are stationary. We can start to add in a lot more customization a lot easier, and you can make your characters or your shells, I should say, look pretty #poggers, as the kids are saying.
Yeah, we're gonna do something with this image because this is it feels, especially some of the ones like the top right, and like there's some really cool things that we can do with this.
That's good, fella.
Econ Martin, go fuck yourself. God damn it! Don't laugh. Don't encourage it.
Funny.
He makes it worse.
I was laughing at another thing.
Okay.
Unrelated.
Yeah, of course, unrelated.
That was another good joke.
Carry on. I love this too.
I'm happy about this.
And then you start to get into like deep customization. So it was asked earlier on, like, can they be different like arms and stuff? We're not just going to stop there with the kind of customization level, and it's all going to be relevant to gameplay and so on as well. So the example we use, I think years ago now, is like if you spend a lot of time in crude rifts, then perhaps the effect of that is going to start to like affect the shell in some way or another. Like if you in your human body went and worked in a nuclear reactor with no protection for a long time, you're not doing pretty well.
No.
But even if you just are exposed to it over time, you're going to start to do things. And you can think of this as sort of analogous to the Fremen in Dune. They interact with the spicy lots. They get the blue eyes. So that's kind of a really good way to think about it. So
and this is an homage to one of the best FPS games in history, Doom. As well. Like it is just too cool not to do. But I think also what's worth calling out here is that we released V1 of character progression in December, and then if you go back, like what means having a system in, as like with landscapes and then character progression, is that it just becomes so easy to add to it once you have the foundation in place. So more different types of activities for you to do to gain memory, more different options for you to progress the self, and the visualization of it and everything. And this is just now like a tree that will keep on on growing because we have it in now.
Doing one cool render clone shell visualization thing takes a certain amount of time. Building a system that allows them to be done more customized more rapidly takes a lot longer, but once it's up and running,
then you can
the individual cost becomes a lot lower in terms of time and development.
You have excellent, really inspired stuff. We'll create my Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, good shot.
Good.
Be sick as
Look
hell.
forward to seeing it.
Yep.
And then CCP Goodfella, you told me you were giga hype about this and wanted to talk about it.
So I'm giga hyped about the future. The mission system as it stands now is not good. I think that is just worth calling out, and we all agree on it.
Yep.
The good news is that it has a lot of potential, and we are gonna do a big push to make it a way better experience for March. Starts with a backend system to make it more easier to update and work on, and then putting some of our great colleagues to really focus on it. Because I'm a hardcore gamer myself. I like doing missions in games. I like collecting achievements and badges and bragging. It helps also with guidance in a super open world game. What should I put my thing on? But the experience now is not fun to engage with. It just isn't. But what I can though genuinely say is that the Grace is worth pursuing right now, even though the experience is bad. The Grace is worth pursuing.
Yes.
Grace turns into Eve points. I cannot understand it enough. Eve points are
worth having.
For the future.
You
Eve
will
points
want
are
them.
worth having
You
for the
will
future.
And
Eve points are worth having for the
Grace alone.
They are worth having.
Yeah. Grace alone, if you put the thing back up with 1 second.
Yep.
So Grace alone in the not too distant future is going to be related to some of these things.
Oh, okay.
So
very cool. I didn't know we were revealing that.
Good shot. Even though we have not put enough focus to make this experience be good, we are still standing firm on the importance of Eve points for the future.
Yep. March also moving. I'm going to rush us through because we have 4 minutes, and we're almost done though. But I'm going to rush us through now.
Nailed it.
So in March, we're also moving from our partners Lattice on Redstone chain, which is EVM compatible, over to Sui, our new partners moving forward. This has been a big technical lift for the team. I asked why they can't just go right-click, go to the chain one, and unselect EVM and click Sui, but they told me that's not how it works.
It's like when you have a JPEG, you want to convert to a PNG.
Exactly.
Just like
yeah.
They just go .sui.
They just didn't think of it.
I know. CCP went to me at his desk going, why didn't we think of that? But so that's a huge technical lift. A lot of the development of some of the smart things within the game, the smart storage unit, smart turret, and so on, have been basically on hold until this is complete because we have to bring up the feature parity. So when we swap it over in March, it's working, and then we can start moving forward again. And the cool thing is the rest of the game has been continuing. So a bunch of the things like the base building stuff is ready to be smartified, as it were, within the next couple of months.
And just worth calling out, the Sui team itself
amazing.
are amazing.
So good.
And
very supportive.
And we are open sourcing everything, and we've already seen builders starting to poke at it. And this game the likelihood of just people enjoying Frontier is multiplied by so much if we have cool builders around doing cool stuff.
Shout out all the cool builders.
So shout out to builders, shout out to the sweet team. It is a bit of a change as Blue Bresse is mentioning, like a different programming language. It is a change, but it is a change for good.
It's a lot easier because Swe's also object oriented, unlike EVM, which is a massive thing when it comes to games.
It helps our future. Yes, that's what it does.
So we are trying to make it as easy as possible to be a hacker, AI vibe code, shout out, etc.
So this is the next big thing we've got going on. We've got a not really mid at this point, but mid-ish cycle update in content. Coming in
bug
February.
fixes, quality of life.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. Some new content rolling out wider across the frontier. Most of this is focused around quality of life, bug fixes, and things like that. And then the next big cycle one, which SWE, and a lot of new content as well, including some of the stuff you've seen today, will be coming in March. I'm not sure why CCP Yikes didn't put the actual day in March.
CCP Yikes, so irresponsible.
Who's Yikes again?
That'd be John. Yeah. CCP John. John Yikes is actually his full name.
Yeah.
His full Christian name is Jonathan J. Yikes.
From Yorkshire.
from North Whimsyshire.
All right, take it back to fucking space camp, or whatever it was.
Shout out to, is this your last slide, by the way?
I think so.
Okay, thank God. Okay, there we go. Shout out to CCP Armageddon, who did point out that there's a lot of really cool base building grid upgrades coming. Upgrades coming. We just don't have some stuff in here for soon, but we will. A lot of the stuff that you saw today is like sooner rather than later. Like March sooner rather than later.
It's a big month ahead of the development team now to get this all stuff in. They've been working hard. We had a kickoff 2 weeks ago where we went over all of this, so they're all hard at work delivering this. This is screenshots from the team. This is not Goodfella making some crazy promises that are not...
a little bit.
They're half crazy.
Half crazy.
Half crazy.
But obviously we'll be doing some more streams in the next couple of weeks talking about these things in more granular detail with the individual teams as we can claw them away from their producers to get them in here and have them working on stuff, because it's very, very cool to do this. But we are actually right out of time. This is the longest thing we've ever gone on with these things. So we're going to go ahead.
The line.
No, before we go. And I know CCP Convict, if you're watching, please, it's my 5 seconds. CCP Degent is working on some really cool activation stuff, some really cool stuff to get the community engaged, some cool screenshot stuff, some video stuff. There was one that we just ran this last week that just wrapped up. Shout out to Microkong, Hookie Bookie, and Kajiba, who were the winners of that one. I would have had your stuff up here, but I forgot to put it up here. So just know this stuff is up here. You can check out the Discord. Check out our socials. We sent out stuff about that the other day. We're running another one right now. These you can win Grace. You can get some other stuff, that's gonna be coming up. Who knows here and there, and that's it. So we've got again. We'll do another stream on Friday. We'll be doing some more stuff here and there. We'll be doing a blog post next week. We mentioned it last.
Yikes is working on merch.
Yeah, Yikes is working on some merch. Shit, we are working on merch too. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm losing consciousness. This is it though. This is pretty exciting. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.